Hi, my name is Kimberly Wiggins, and this is my presentation about my local community. Um, and the first slide here just addresses my community in words and pictures. And the community that I'm going to be talking about is very much like a Native American town, and it's called Sawtee Nacoochee. And when people hear that, they kind of laugh. And it is between a lot of like mountain towns, but it's got a really cool cultural vibe to it, and really artsy, which is one thing that I do love about this town. um, First, I want to talk about the population demographics. That was one of the things discussed that we needed to address. And um, first, here it says the races making up the largest parts of the population are white, and that's looking at like 84%. Um, Black or African American is 14.6, and Asian is 1.1. So predominantly white culture here in Salty. Um, the city's residents are 49.6% males and 50.4% females. And it's a very small town. Um, and then just, surrounding like local towns. Um, the population of Sati Nacoochee is 363 people. Another thing that I love about this town, because it is small and not overpopulated, um, 67.4% of the city's population is married, and the other 32.6 are single in Sati. 100% of people in Sati, they were born U.S. citizens, while 0.0% were born outside of the country. The city's population is 36.0 college educated, and 84.8% have high school diploma or GED. So it looks like predominantly most people have just graduated high school, and the other ones have gone on to, carry on their degree and education. Economy here, typically people work around 33 hours per week in Salty, so not even really looking at the 40 hours a week mark. Um, the median worker income is 28,750, and this is lower than the national average, which is 29,701, which I was actually surprised about that statistic because I thought the national average would be higher. I guess I thought it would be maybe in the late 30s. So that was kind of news to me. The poverty rate for Salty Nacoochee is 16.3%. So it seems fairly low to me. Um, the unemployment rate is 1.5%, which I would consider pretty low. Which is a lot better than the 7.9% unemployment rate, nationally. Of the workers here in Sati, 92.4% commute under 25 minutes, 7.6 travel 25 to 45 minutes, and 0.0% have a commute time that's over 45 minutes. I do know several people that do travel to like the outskirts of Atlanta, and that can be, a 45-minute drive. Typically, most people that I know aren't really going over 30 minutes. So usually they'll just go to another local mountain town that's just over the mountain, and sometimes that can take 30 minutes just because of like the winding roads and not being able to drive so fast. Homes here in Salty, homes have 6 rooms on average. Um, let's see, in Salty, Georgia, 1958 is the median year when homes were built. Um, and the house I currently live in was built in 1981. The average cost of a home is $857. So if you're looking at that, like something compared to Atlanta, that's quite low and minimal here, in North Georgia. And 85.4% of homes are owner occupied, and 8.1 people are renting. One of the main hotspots of Sati is the Sati Nakuchi Indian Mound. And there's a legend here about this between two different Indian tribes. And um, a man and a woman fell in love with each other, and they felt as if they could unite and kind of create peace between these two tribes. And when they addressed that with their family, they were pretty much like torn apart, and was going to throw the man off Mount Yona, and the woman followed, and jumped off and leaped off the cliff to join her lover. And at the foot of the cliff, the lovers dragged their broken bodies together and locked in a final embrace and died there. The chief, overcome with remorse, realized the greatness of love and buried the lovers, still locked in the death, near the banks of the Chattahoochee River as a burial mound. So a lot of people come from all over. I'll see it even trekking back and forth to work, where people will stop on the side of the road and take pictures. Um, and so it's a really popular spot and a nice story to be able to tell about the local community. The arts program is pretty popular, and really just popular with music and people making their own stuff, and selling it at festivals. So it's really important that this town, they really like locally support people. So as one of the strongest community arts programs in the state and the nation, we have earned support from a number of regional and national funders. We also generate impressive local support from a community that genuinely values what we bring to their lives. In turn, we value the people of the hills and valleys and what they bring to the world. So it's a nice place for people to be able to come and express themselves, and that's really welcomed here in this town. We have the historic Nakuchi Institute, and this is a picture of it right here. It was a private boarding school, was funded by the Presbytery of Athens in 1903. Its campus occupied a large area incorporating the present day campus along with other acreage. The Institute enjoyed a national reputation and received support from the Presbyterian churches in Georgia and beyond. By 1925, it had grown considerably to include 301 acres of land, 3 school buildings, 4 dormitories, 8 cottage homes, 16 farm or service buildings. It then supported 6 grammar grades, 3 junior high school grades, and departments of home economics, music, and commercial studies. A school census of that time showed a total of 14 teachers and 262 students. The historic Nakuchi Institute was destroyed by a fire, and then they merged in 1927 with a school called Rabun Gap, and that school is actually still up and running to this day. I actually have friends whose children go to that school. This is a map of Sati. Basically, it surrounds a lot of local mountain towns. So it's just kind of cut. It's just kind of plopped in the middle of a bunch of things. It's not opening for me at the moment. But Helen, Georgia is really close by, which is really popular for a lot of people to come. It's like an old German town, and it's about an hour and 20 minutes away from Atlanta, north of Atlanta, um, and and then just really close to even like the North Carolina border. It can be. If you go a little bit north up into the northeast corner, before you know it, you'll be in North Carolina. Um, According to the article that we were required to leave, safety is the number one sign of a good community. Salty Nacoochee crime rate is 10% lower than the national average, and for every 100,000 people, there are 7.02 daily crimes that occur in Salty Nacoochee. So as far as feeling safe, I feel very safe in this town. Um, I absolutely love the culture of Salty. It's one of the things I was talking about. It just offers a lot of music and dancing and art and food and history and culture. And I mentioned Native Americans built the Salty Nacoochee Indian Mound, um, which is a place people still travel really far to come and visit. Um, we have the Stovall Covered Bridge. We have the Gourd Ladies. And that's kind of an interesting story. And it ties in really well with me personally because my uncle, who's passed away, used to make gourds and used to paint them for us and Santa Claus, and he would give them to us for Christmas. Um, so people kind of come all over to add to that collection, to the gourds. And then we are very much a wine town, like wine country. So a lot of people come up for wine tastings and visit the vineyards and such. So, and these right here are my references of where I got a lot of this information from. So that kind of gives a description of the town called Salty Nacoochee, which is located in North Georgia. All right. Thank you.